Hello and welcome to Gyan Gurukul e-classes. So today we are going to learn something very familiar. Okay, uh, if you think, from the point of view of a say an employer, right? Suppose you are the owner of a particular firm. Okay, now whenever you have to employ someone or a labor for additional amount of time or overtime, okay, then the stipulated time they are assigned to work, right? If they have to work for extra hours, then I think you have noticed that you have to provide them uh, a higher wage rate, right? So suppose you are employer A, right, and you are employing employee B in your firm, right, and the wage rate is say rupees 200 per hour, right? Rupees 200 per hour you are providing to the particular employee B, right? Now suppose in a particular day employee B works for 8 hours maximum. He works for 8 hours, and uh, what is the per hour rate? Per hour rate is 200 rupees, right? So how much he get? He get 200 into 8, therefore 1600 rupees. Clear? In a particular day the person gets 1600 rupees. Clear? Now suppose in some day, let's suppose that the demand for the products suddenly gone up in the market, right? So now what, as an employer A, you have to employ your employee B or your labor B for suppose an additional extra hour, right? So now rather than 8 hours you have to employ B for 9 hours. Okay, now that is you have to employ him for an additional 1 hour. Clear? Now in that case you have to pay employee B an amount or a wage rate which is greater than the prevailing wage rate. What is the prevailing wage rate? The prevailing wage rate is 200, right? So now the new wage rate should be, at least it should be greater than or equal to 200 rupees, right? It should be greater than or equal to at least 200 rupees. Clear? However, there may be instances where if the employee suppose gets satisfied with something less than 200 rupees, in that may also be a case, right? But in general what we see that that in order to induce a person to work for an extra hour, right, the wage rate you have to pay to him should be greater than the prevailing wage rate, right? Now why we have to do so, right? So in this in this diagram we will learn why we have to do so. Clear? So suppose now in this diagram, this is the labor and leisure constraint curve that shows that the person has 24 maximum 24 hours at his disposal, right? And he divide the total hour into basically two functions, right? One is labor and one is leisure, right? And here the distance between O and L1, right? OL1, it is denoting the time spent for leisure activity. Clear? And the distance between L1 and B, it is denoting the time spent in labor activity. Okay? And by spending L1B time in labor, the person is, the person is earning how much? The person is earning OM1, this much of income, right? Now this is his point of equilibrium. Yes, because at this point the curve, the laser labor, the laser labor constraint curve is tangent to which curve? The laser and labor trade-off curve. Okay, and this curve I1, it denotes a particular level of utility for the particular person. Clear? Now he is enjoying at this level of utility with this much of labor and this much of laser, right? Now in order to shift his position from this to somewhere else, you see we have to induce him with higher level of wage, right? So what is this case? See, if we take this example, right, the person was working for how many hours? 8 hours. Okay, so this difference L1B is denoting 8 hours, and the difference OL1 is denoting how much? It is denoting say 16 hours. Okay, he is lasering for 16 hours. Now what we have told? We have told that the person is enjoying, the employer is employing person B for an additional 1 hour, right? So this difference L1 and L2, this difference is denoting 1 hour, right? Clear? Now this difference is denoting that the person is now working for an additional extra hour, hence he will move from this point to this point, right? From this point to this point. Now up to this point, okay, I will denote it as L3, suppose. Okay, L3. Now the difference between O and L3 is now 15 hours, and difference between L3 and B is 9 hours, right? Because he has moved to this point with an extra hour of labor. That means his leisure hour has been cut off by 1 hour, right? Okay. Now see this curve, okay, AB curve, the slope of the AB curve is denoting nothing but the wage rate, right? The slope of the AB curve is denoting nothing but the prevailing wage rate. Clear? At the prevailing wage rate, he was happy at this point, because at this point this curve, that is AB curve, is tangent to I1 curve, right? Now if he moved from this point to this point, right, then how much income he is getting with the prevailing wage rate? If the employer pays the employee at the prevailing wage rate, that is 200 rupees, then he would be at the income level. How much he would be at the income level? Say this much. Okay, this should be straight line, right? So he is at a point here, and say this point is M3, right? So at the prevailing wage rate, he will be at this point in this curve, right? But note that at this particular point, the indifference curve he would be tangent to is lower than the prevailing indifference curve. So not indifference curve, actually, the income laser trade-off curve, right? Right? The income laser trade-off curve, that is denoting a particular level of utility for him, right? Now if he had to be in the same level of utility, then he should have been in this curve, right? In this curve I1, at any point in this curve. But if you see at this particular point, right, this curve is above this point. It is not tangent to it. It is the curve I1 is neither below it. It is exactly above this point, right? It is above this point. It is not tangent to this point. That means at this point we will be at this at a indifference curve which is lower than I1. Say there is another indifference curve like this. Okay, this curve is below this I1 curve, right? It is clearly below this I1 curve, right? Therefore he would be at a lower level of utility, right? What is that? He would be at the lower level of utility because he have given up his leisure activity and replaced it by labor activity by 1 hour, for which he have paid the prevailing wage rate, and in that case he would be at a lower level of utility. Why? Because he is now at a indifference curve, sorry, not indifference curve, he is now at a lower leisure labor trade-off curve, right? Which is denoting that he is at a lower level of utility. Clear? Yes. Now uh, think that you are an employee, or you are a labor, right? Will you be happy to work for an extra hour for your employer or for the owner of the company if it reduces your utility? Definitely not, right? Because you are a selfish rational individual and you will always try to maximize your own utility, right? If you are um, working for an extra hour that would reduce your utility, right, then in that case you are not going to work for an extra hour, rather you are going to spend the hour in your leisure activity, right? So if you think for an individual, a rational labor, he would not going to work for an extra hour with the prevailing wage rate, because he would be at a lower level of utility. Clear? So what we have to do? The employer have to provide him such a wage rate that would put him at a utility level which is higher than the prevailing utility level, right? So the new wage rate is denoted by this line E, and say this point is R. Okay, so this line, it would go up to a high amount and touch the y-axis somewhere, but for simplicity I have denoted it as a point R, right? To tell you that this line, right, this line RE, it is denoting a wage rate which is greater than our prevailing wage rate 200. Okay, the new wage rate that is denoted by this line RE is higher than our prevailing wage rate 200. Why so? Because the slope of this line is greater than the slope of this line, right? the slope of this line AB denoted the prevailing wage rate, and the slope of this line is denoting new wage rate, and the slope is higher in that case, right? Now see, if we work for if the employee or the labor work for an extra hour now at the new wage rate, then see where he is at this point, right? This point, and at this point he is tangent by the the this curve RE, this curve is tangent by with it is tangent with another income laser trade-off curve I2, okay, I2, and see the curve I2 is greater than the curve I1, right? The curve I2 is greater than the curve I1, which means that I2 represents a higher level of utility. Yeah, I2 represents a higher level of utility. Therefore, at the new wage rate, if the person works for an extra hour, in that case he would be at a higher level of utility, I2. And that is why, in order to induce a person to work for extra hour or overtime, the employer must give the employee or the labor a wage rate which is greater than the prevailing wage rate. Why? Because it would put him at a new high level of utility, and he would only and it would completely compensate the leisure time foregone by a higher and higher level of utility achieved, right? That is why we pay uh, extra amount or a high amount than the prevailing wage in case of overtime, right? Thank you.